Get ready for action, because we are diving straight into the biggest news from the UFC 328. We start with Waldo Cortes-Acosta. This fighter had a massive media day interview with MMA Junkie and reporters, getting all the details about his highly anticipated bout against Alexander Volkov coming up in Newark, New Jersey. We break down everything Cortes-Acosta said about his preparation and what we know about this explosive matchup.
Stop using your finger for notes, sketches, and edits. This Jam Jake stylus pen gives your iPad a smoother, more precise writing feel with palm rejection so your hand can rest naturally on the screen. It charges fast, works for hours, and comes with replacement tips. Perfect for school, work, or creative projects. Check the link in the comments to grab it on Amazon.
Next up, we are zeroing in on the intense dynamic between Khamzat Chimaev and Sean Strickland at UFC 328. We're looking at how Chimaev's grappling prowess is set to clash head-on with Strickland's striking game. We explore the deep analysis on whether Chimaev can successfully navigate the wrestling-first game plan to take down the former champion. Now, let's talk about the stakes involved in this massive card. We're looking at the flyweight title fight where Joshua Van attempts to defend his championship against Tatsuro Terra. We break down the matchup dynamics, looking at Terra's striking offense versus Van's solid takedown defense, and why this fight presents some interesting betting value. And finally, we hear directly from the action. Khamzat Chimaev admits he overestimated Dricus Du Plessis in their title fight, saying Dricus was just surviving. We also look at the fallout as Sean Strickland challenges Chimaev for the belt at UFC 328. Don't miss a second of the action. Tune in now for all the details. Fighter Waldo Cortes-Acosta participated in a media day interview for his upcoming bout against Alexander Volkov at UFC 328. The interview, featured on Yahoo Sports, took place at the event in Newark, New Jersey, where Cortes-Acosta spoke with reporters and the MMA Junkie. The discussion centered on the fighter's preparation and expectations for the highly anticipated matchup. The anticipated clash between Khamzat Chimaev and Sean Strickland at UFC 328 is shaping up to be a pivotal moment, with analysts pointing to the grappling dynamic as the key determinant of the outcome. While the rivalry has been fueled by personal animosity, the consensus suggests that Chimaev's superior wrestling prowess presents the biggest hurdle for Strickland's path to victory. Chimaev, currently ranked number 3 pound for pound, is widely regarded as the most dominant grappler in mixed martial arts. The fight's success, according to many, will hinge on whether Chimaev can successfully move Strickland into unfamiliar territory, moving beyond Strickland's usual ability to dictate the fight's location. Strickland, the former champion, has demonstrated a solid 76% takedown defense against top contenders, but Chimaev is described as a different caliber of threat in grappling exchanges. Chimaev's grappling threat is underscored by his performance against Dricus Du Plessis, where he landed his first of 12 total takedowns within 10 seconds of the first round, starting at UFC 319, ultimately controlling Du Plessis for over 21 minutes. This suggests a high-level capability to initiate grappling exchanges. Conversely, Strickland has only managed more than one takedown against opponents in the last decade, with previous instances resulting in losses, suggesting a significant gap in grappling success against elite wrestlers. Observers believe it is inevitable that Chimaev will secure a takedown. The critical questions for the fight are whether Chimaev can secure a submission, land effective ground and pound strikes, or replicate the dominant control he displayed against Du Plessis. For Strickland, the challenge will be his ability to effectively work back up from the bottom position. Strickland has sought preparation, consulting with former champion Johnny Eblen to address Chimaev's wrestling style, emphasizing a focus on maintaining distance with his jab. While Strickland's cardio is proven, Chimaev has shown signs of slowing down in recent bouts. Strickland has also navigated a tough performance against Anthony Hernandez, a relentless wrestler, demonstrating his ability to withstand wrestling pressure. Statistically, Chimaev is notoriously difficult to hit, absorbing a low average of significant strikes per 15 minutes in the UFC middleweight division, while maintaining the top position percentage in control time. Oddsmakers have favored Chimaev heavily, listing him around a 6-1 favorite. UFC 328 is set to feature this high-stakes middleweight bout, alongside a flyweight title fight between Joshua Van and Tatsuro Terra. Noi Dung Kai Tight. UFC 328 is set to feature a compelling card headlined by a clash between middleweight champion Khamzat Chimaev and challenger Sean Strickland. The event will take place on Saturday at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey, and promises a dynamic mix of striking and grappling exchanges. The main event pits the dominant grappler Khamzat Chimaev against the aggressive striker Sean Strickland. Strickland secured his shot after overcoming another grappler, Hernandez, but struggled to establish consistent offensive pressure against Chimaev's suffocating top control. Chimaev is highlighted for a potentially dominant performance, controlling the fight on the mat for nearly 22 minutes. While Strickland possesses a knockout threat through accumulated damage, Chimaev's stifling grappling is viewed as a significant advantage. Betting analysis suggests that a dual outcome bet on Chimaev by submission or decision offers better value than a straight win bet, given the potential for early opportunities. In the flyweight division, reigning champion Joshua Van will make his first title defense against Tatsuro Terra. This matchup presents a similar striker versus grappler dynamic, though the odds are closer. While the ground game favors Terra, his stand-up offense is noted as impressive, despite defensive vulnerabilities. Despite Van's superior striking, the models see value in Terra implementing his game plan, making him a more affordable option in the betting market. For the heavyweight bout, the matchup between Volkov and Cortes-Acosta is assessed as a coin flip. In this striking duel, both fighters are expected to engage in prolonged exchanges, with Volkov utilizing his size at range and Cortes-Acosta possessing superior power. Statistical advantages lean towards Cortes-Acosta due to better strike avoidance and less cumulative career damage, suggesting value in backing him to win. Other interesting matchups include a potential upset scenario involving Buckley, where his solid takedown defense is contrasted against the possibility of a striking finish. Meanwhile, the bout between Stevens and Green is expected to be a high-level contest. Despite Stevens' recent struggles, his high knockdown rate makes him a threat. Green, recognized for his ability to evade and outpoint opponents from the outside, is positioned as the heavy favorite in this pairing. Dung Kai Tight. Khamzat Chimaev has publicly admitted that he overestimated the strength of Dricus Du Plessis during their UFC Middleweight Championship bout, suggesting Du Plessis was merely surviving the fight. In a candid assessment, Chimaev stated, "I thought Dricus was going to be stronger, but he was. I took him down, smashed him on the ground, do the same thing again and again. He was just surviving there. After a couple rounds, I watched his face. He didn't want to come out again. Nothing surprised me. I knew I was the better fighter." And Chimaev, who secured the unanimous decision and the title, expressed satisfaction with his victory, emphasizing his national pride in having a champion. He noted that he has not competed since losing to Du Plessis. And meanwhile, the spotlight is shifting towards future matchups. Caio Borralho has recently been called out by Stillnock's Khamzat Chimaev, who traveled to South Africa seeking a rematch. Borralho has been invited to a sparring session with Du Plessis, but is aiming for a main event showdown. And looking ahead to UFC 328, Khamzat Chimaev is scheduled to defend the Middleweight Championship. Sean Strickland is set to challenge Chimaev for the title in the main event, having earned his shot after stopping Anthony Hernandez earlier in the year. The event will be hosted at the Prudential Center in Newark, featuring a Paramount Plus special. The central question remains, can Chimaev replicate his dominance, or will Strickland find a path to victory over Du Plessis?